Alright guys, such comic again. I hope you're doing that and enjoying your day so far. Scrap and Dashy making their frustration very clear with the current state of the maps here in Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Scrap especially says the stupider you are as a player, the better you are at this game because of the way that the maps are designed. Are they aware there are also other maps in the game that could be tried by the pro players, but they want more maps and better maps arriving into the game ASAP? But if they were brought in, would they get tested? Very much true to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. Just firstly here on Crim. So there's been some talk about what Crim's going to do this season. Of course, Ian Porter, right? As the racing driver Ian Porter, he's been racing in various series for the last couple of years. It wasn't clear what he was going to be doing this year, but and maybe by the time this video goes live, it's been announced. But as you can see by the steering wheel, this is a Lamborghini, and as you can see by the end of the video right about here, this looks like this car. I'm not 100% sure what version of the Huracan it is, but it looks like Crim's going to be racing with Rafa Racing again in some sort of Lamborghini spec series, which is likely, I'm not sure if it's going to be the GT3 or the Super Trofeo or the Evo or whatever, but there's different variations. But whatever he's racing in, it's probably going to be a step up from last year, and actually really excited to see this. So it looks like that's what Crim's up to anyway, based on some of the images that we have seen here. And yeah, Ian Porter back in the building, love to see it. Let's talk about a couple of bits of drama. Firstly, this is interesting. With the war in the Middle East and the ongoing, developing geopolitical situation, to say the very least, Lurqxx, who's been out there, can't travel back. So lots of travel disruption it's affecting multiple sports and people's lives more generally in that region right now, getting in or out. And for Lurqxx, so for some that travelled back to Saudi Arabia, returning to America to compete isn't really an option as it stands. So therefore, Lurqxx from the Falcons Academy Green will be unable to return to America to compete in the Stage 2 Elite, which begins today. They will apparently play with Alpha instead. I'm not 100% sure if this is confirmed yet, but this is a pretty big deal, right? Because let's not forget, a few days ago, Doug got screwed over badly, right? So Doug, his teammate, Icons, especially Icons, but basically his teammates sketched on him. It was meant to be Doug Alpha were a duo, and they got sketched on last minute, and therefore 30 minutes before roster lock they didn't have a team. Doug was scrambling to get a team together. They couldn't get it done with FaZe in time, and therefore they can't play. So that was a big frustration for them. They didn't get a roster submitted to play in the Elite Qualifier, so they couldn't qualify. And Alpha is a player, French player, who has come over from France, obviously, to try and make it in the States in the same way that Trakes did. He came over from Argentina and was like, okay, I'm going to give it a couple of years playing challenges in North America to try and make a name for myself, and it's worked out for Trakes. It's worked out for Lurqxx as well, German player, come over to compete in North American challenges. Yeah, he's on collegiate contract and all this, but he's now got the FaZe opportunity. Right? So Alpha, another player who's trying to follow the same trajectory, and it was kind of sad to see him get screwed over the other day because, look, as sad as I was that Doug got screwed over, at the end of the, like, Doug he's been there and done it. He's won his championships. He's not probably going to do that again, right? So as much as I love Doug competing and the passion and the energy that he brings, it's not like he's got his career ahead of him, shall we say. Whereas Alpha, that could be the case, right? So him getting screwed out of a spot is like, damn, this guy came all this way to not be able to play. Like, that's tough, right? Like, that deserves some sort of karma, you could argue. But he has got the opportunities. Maybe this is his comeuppance, that with Lurqxx not being able to travel back, Alpha looks like he's going to step in instead. So it's QK, Alpha, Aluka, and Standy. Actually a really interesting team on paper. All over the place in terms of nationalities. So it'll be very interesting to see how that chemistry goes. Which team is the most balanced? Of course, it's OpTic, really, but this is the average game mode ranking. So if you look at the rankings of each of the individual game modes, obviously, this is what you find. Surge are 12th and 12th in both Hardpoint and Search and Destroy, only 11th in Overload, so pretty consistent. There are some heavy consistencies here across the board. Kind of remarkable that Heretics are 777, so, you know, we'll be seeing them in Vegas maybe later this year. But some teams are all over the place, really. Like, OpTic, of course, are second in Hardpoint, just behind Gentlemates, but they're first in Search, first in Overload. Gentlemates, interestingly, they're best at Hardpoint. they're 5th in search, and their overload is only 9th best, which is quite remarkable, right? For them to be near the bottom of the league in terms of overload ranking is kind of crazy. They're just ahead of Rocker, and then it's Surge and Cloud9, right, who are obviously right at the bottom of this list. Boston, pretty consistent. Koi, it's arguably been their overload that keeps them in the mix. Same story with Falcons, it's their Search and Destroy, which is just terrible. For Ravens, of course, it's the opposite, which won't surprise you. So thought this is quite good to look at, really, because it shows some teams are pretty consistent. OpTic, even FaZe, consistently like 4th or 5th, which isn't really great, but that's where they sit in basically all of the game modes. Thieves a bit better in hardpoint, a bit worse at the others, but not with the discrepancy of a Paris, a Falcons, a G2, a Ravens, a Toronto, and then the other teams are just kind of consistently either mid or consistently terrible. So yeah, that's how it looks right now in the Pro League, up and down. Havoc gets to top 250 again, so congratulations to him. I just was going to mention this because COD in general has been a bit of a drama lately, especially because of this news that came out last night, which, as GhostOfHope says, he's been a notable leaker in the Call of Duty world for a long time. He's leaked a couple of things, some have been correct, some haven't, about the Call of Duty League, but he has sources internally at Activision and the development teams that give information on what the upcoming Call of Duties are going to look like and all this type of stuff. Now, of course, COD have not been very happy about those leaks. Now, have some of the leaks maybe not been correct? The GTA 6 stuff that got leaked, it's like, sometimes it can be bad for everyone in that it doesn't help the team, doesn't help like anyone around the scene. However, it sometimes can be good because if he leaks something which is terrible and the feedback to the leak publicly is terrible, and then the Call of Duty sees that and realizes, okay, maybe we need to take a different direction, that can be a positive, but also things aren't always correct. Sometimes things change, it is what it is. But GhostOfHope says that effectively he's got a cease and desist. They've legally demanded that I stop leaking and disseminating confidential information related to Call of Duty and Activision, and I'm complying with their demands. You kind of can't not. If Activision send you a cease and desist, unless you're ready to spend a lot of money on lawyers, good luck, right? So he says, look, I'm going to stick around and chat about things, but it's time to step away. Thanks for the time. So big moment, really, for, GhostOfHope's been a key member of the scene for some time. I thought this was an interesting tweet. So T-Dog says, wow, they're shutting him down. Was he right? Is he cooking? And Call of Duty say, look, this is the official COD account. I thought they might tweet. You would expect them maybe to tweet something that looks like a corporate statement, but instead it looks like the admin just says, nah, even when the leaks are wrong, they still hurt the people building the game and mess with player expectations. I mean, maybe right, but it's not an especially professionally written tweet, which I might have been expecting. Regardless, it's kind of a big deal because you might argue, wow, COD are shutting down people trying to expose that they're making bad decisions rather than just making better decisions. That's an argument. I also get the point to say that it does affect things negatively, so maybe this was somewhat inevitable. If you're messing with Activision, eventually you might get shot, right? Like, it is what it is. But one thing that most do agree on over the last couple of years is that the maps haven't been especially strong, and that continues to be a talking point right about now. Now, I do think that Black Ops 7 has done a better job of this. I mean, we're looking here at BO6 last year on Rewind, or this is Red Card, sorry. Rewind was another not great map, but yeah. Was it a great map set last year? No. Did Modern Warfare 3 get saved by Rio, 6-star, Vista? Absolutely yes, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone knows the maps make the game, and Scrap, it looks like at the end of this clip, has finally figured that out. Now, Shotzzy talks about search in this game and says it's literally terrible because of the maps. So Shotzzy's not happy about the maps. Neither are Dashy nor Scrap. They talk about it last night on stream. They say a few things, and they basically say the maps are terrible. They say it's a stupid game where players that have no IQ, no brain cells, they can play better because of the way the maps are designed. And both Dashy and Scrap seem to be in agreement that we need new maps in the game instead.
I think S&D and Black Ops 7 is literally the worst shit. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's all because of the maps. Me personally, I don't know what you guys think, but from playing it, it's dog shit. I don't know, like viewing it like wise, like if you guys actually enjoy it, but
outplaying someone with my fucking brain.
Bro, you're just ripping. Like,
really be close up to then one. I just know he's gonna be there.
Yeah, you're gonna iron a second ahead.
You know what I mean? Like right now, I just know everyone knows where everyone is. there's fucking 2.5 lanes.
There's not, yeah, that's actually fine. There's not even 3 lanes.
And then, like, bro, all right, he's not here. Well, there's only one other place.
Nice. More time.
I'm not gonna lie though, that's gonna be the thing I bitch about all year is the maps, just to make sure that they put in decent maps next year.
One's close left 4.
I mean, they don't give a fuck what I say, but
Wait, when did they add the new maps in MW3? Do you remember? Like Rio, 6-star Vista. That was like.
I swear ReeaL was like 3 months in. This is a Nero game. You'll reveal her. This is a retard game. The more retarded you are, the more fucking godlike you are. Ben is another one. Ben is another one that's just so mid.
I love Scar.
Like Karachi, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Where the fuck is Arsenal frequency?
Gridlock even. I'll take a
Where are
gridlock.
those maps?
I got one.
Yeah, bro.
Another one here,
I don't know.
Their door and 2 set you.
They
I'm
added.
telling you, if they added those maps, this game would be fucking godlike.
Actually, yeah, he's there.
Bro, the maps actually make the game, bro. Like,
Yeah, that's why MW3 went.
So just to make sure, are these guys aware that actually there are plenty of other maps in the game that could be looked at? Now, are they right? They're bringing in an Arsenal, a Frequency, maybe a Gridlock, maybe a Seaside or something. You know, some of those Black Ops 4 maps that people want remastered. Would that be a good idea? Yeah, I've been in favor of that for some time. But let's not pretend we don't have plenty of maps in the game that the pros could have tried and either didn't or dismissed immediately for being terrible. It appears that it's taken weeks of online COD and grinding scrims and matches that don't feel like much for the players to realise, hang on a second, actually, yeah, this map set is pretty terrible. Maybe we should have had a look at a couple of other maps when we had the chance. You know, I've criticised the league for not making a decision, which I'm still standing on business on. But I believe that the league at least did try to talk to the pros and say, hey, can we maybe, you know, do you guys want to test these maps out? The new maps that got allowed into the game. And let's not forget there's also other options as well. I'm not saying we need to bring back Cortex or, because we played that a little bit when the game first came out. Imprint is the same story. But there are plenty of other options here, right? Even the Forge, okay, I'm not saying it would work very well, but was it really given a great go? Toshin, I think they've finally fixed it now. Like, they added the segment where the train goes up to the top building. That's a map that people thought was going to be competitive. Did it ever really get played? No. So this is I'm not saying Toshin's a 6-star or whatever, but like, these guys are crying out for better maps. And it's like, well, actually, no, there are plenty of maps there if you guys want to try and play them. And we know that that's true because Saki's in the game now, and that looks pretty viable. Shotzzy thinks it's better than all the maps that are getting played, but yet it's not in the map set because the pros aren't bothered to try it. So it's frustrating to listen to this, but also I guess there's a positive to say that, well, finally the pros have realised that they need to actually put in a bit of hard work if they want to make the map set better, and that's what they're going to do. Again, we talk about, oh yeah, we've got to bring back Arsenal, Frequency, these Black Ops 4 maps. It's like, hang on a second, lads. Like, we've got Fringe back in the game from Black Ops 3. Do we want to maybe try it, right? Like, and with the wall bouncing, the map will not play that differently to how it did in jetpacks. Maybe it's not going to be as good, whatever, but you can get into top barn, you can get into top grannies because of the movement. You couldn't do that in Black Ops 6 last year. Meltdown is a search and destroy classic from Black Ops 2. Not even tried. And the league should have just put it in anyway, let's be honest. Standoff, same story. Utopia, maybe it's not great. Some people like it, some people don't. Yemen's coming back. Saki is in the game as well. Slums is here. It's like, come on, lads. Like, we can't be serious. We're crying about the map set, and there's about 1 million maps that Treyarch have worked hard to put into this game, and yet we've not tested them. So, with any luck, that will finally help the pros change their tune. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.